listening to Final Fantasy Radio here on Randomania 2. Now we've got a hot match for you with Zar and Woat leading us in on the Cytown vs. Krelen round of 32 match here with Final Fantasy Radio. Take it away, boys.
Good evening, Randomania. We hope you are hyped up tonight for a race we have for you this evening. I am joined in the booth, as aforementioned, by one Dark Moon and one Woat. How are you this evening, Woat?
I'm doing fantastic. We also are joined in the booth tonight by our wonderful tracker, Woat, who forgot to mute his mic. But, what are you gonna do about it? Anyway, how are you feeling tonight, Zar?
I'm feeling great. I've been eager to get back in the booth. We've got two great racers this evening. I've had the honor of racing Krelen. He did me the justice of taking me to 1-1 in the first round.
And they have drafted a very interesting team because tonight's Blursings turned out very interesting. The fighters are packing White Mage spells and Black Mage strength. We're not going to talk about that. And the White Mages are bringing to the table access to the Ninja spell list and a strength penalty, but let's just face it, you're not punching anything with your White Mage. So, don't let the White Robes fool you. Those are basically, like, lesser sages down there. And, those fighters are basically amped up knights who can't hurt things, but that's okay, we love them anyway.
Indeed, I'm sure there's some diehard Black Mage fans out there right now that are thinking, no Black Mages, what kind of seed is this? The runners agreed to the draft, and tonight's seed will be an Ale Markin production.
Yeah, no, this should be good, because, this is basically, yeah, this is basically a very spell-heavy party, even if it doesn't look like it. But we've got Silver Swords +2 and +4 large daggers, so that's convenient, and... Hi, Nuke!
Hello, usable Nuke, as our blessings have revealed themselves to be quite useful this evening. Nuke level 2. Excuse me, level 1. Slot 2.
Level 1 Nuke, and thankfully nothing good in white magic that you want to have on your White Mages, because you can just hand your fighters the white magic duties.
So you see Nuke, you see it's usable, you've got it. This has got to, you know, push the gas pedal. Both of these runners know the equivalent is high tier. Everyone in this area of the tournament is a high-skilled runner, and it looks like Krelen's going to take that level.
Yeah, no, I don't hate it. You go ahead, you get a few extra charges of those nuke blasts, and you can basically walk through any encounter you're going to have until you deal with Garland. And you're also going to kill Garland. So...
Looks like he also had the Gur-Ump variety, so that's going to get him a little bit more experience in gold than the regular imps would have.
Yeah. Cytown, meanwhile, our first runner to go ahead and get into Temple of Fiends, and we are going to see all these boxes open on the vain hope that the bridge landed somewhere nice, but that is a -1 Pro Ring and a +1 Zeus Gauntlet, so a little extra firepower to stretch out those nukes in the early game.
Yeah, this gives the fighter a AoE option, which is very, very nice to have this early in the run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this is an interesting position. You normally see when you have these doubled up classes, one of the classes, getting danned. But I'm not necessarily sure we're going to see any dans tonight, because with the fighters having that Black Mage strength growth, you're going to see a situation where they're not going to be hitting as hard as you're used to. But, got some pickups here. A canal from the king and a crown from the princess.
That's going to lead to some early turn-ins for our runners. And as you said, it's with the nuke available and the low fighter strength, I think you're going to want to keep these mages up. 4-man could be the play here.
Yeah, like, I think it's one of those things, if nothing else, you need that, like, I think with 2 fighters, you wind up getting that melee damage you would normally expect out of 1 fighter. And you still have the hit percent on both fighters, so they're still going to be pumping out some damage. It's just not as excessive as you might be used to. But no bridge in Temple of Fiends, so we're going to start the long, slow march down the west side of the southern continent.
Yes, I actually like this flag. Instead of having the option of going straight over to Provoca, you kind of have to think your way there, plan ahead on your feet, especially in this level of the tournament. I think it adds that little extra challenge that we're looking for in this round.
Yeah. Yeah, really one of the big decisions we see early on out of runners is, do we hit Marsh Cave or not? Excuse me. But, yeah, thank you. But, just a little bit of cash in the Dwarf Cave, so no immediate temptation to double back to Provoca.
With the level 2 nuke, do you chance it? You don't have warp, so you're still going to have to end up walking out, but you do have excessive charges of nuke. I think I might take a look here.
Well, I think first we're going to see... We're not going to see what Astos has yet, but Krelen might, reveal the truth. Ah, here we go.
Astos tried to cast Rub on us there.
Is this even randomized? But it doesn't matter. Even with Astos' excessive magic defense, 2 nuke casts is more than his HP can handle. And no, really, Ale, did you actually randomize this?
I think nuke confirmed it, but this is a very vanilla-looking chain of items thus far.
Yeah, I mean, we did get the crown out of Marsh Cave, but, yeah, that, crystal right out the gate. And ogres have trance.
The ogres are bumping their trance music, and we have a full stun lock. Krelen resets.
Yeah. Cytown, meanwhile, makes it to Elfland. We're gonna get a chance to peep the, spells here.
So lock 2, fire 3 in there. Not that these runners are going to get much use out of them with this party. Harm 4, cure 4. That's huge.
Lock 2, I could maybe see them grabbing. Yeah, it's going to be competing for those cure 4 shots off the white mage, but... did Sai... Yeah, I think Sai just not even bother checking level 4 magic yet.
Not yet. Don't have the money. I like to play. You save a little bit of time wandering around there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it, but,
Also, thank you, Paradox, for confirming that was sent to Fred, as all vanilla randomizations must be.
Considering how many randomizers are out there now, the poor guy must be so confused some days. Also, do not mind any voices you might hear in the background. Our restreamer, after that lovely intro, forgot to mute his mic.
Big shout out to our restreamer this evening, and big shout out to Randomania for hosting us for this matchup in the spring tournament. Thank you to our runners as well, as we find a Saber -2 on the top floor of Marsh for cytown.
And it's still something for his fighters to swing. It's not very good, but it's something, because I don't think he had enough money to get them both those large knives out the gate.
Just looking at that spell menu, it just brings us a sense of comfort to every runner. Scorpions are going to turn up the heat on cytown.
Yeah, alright. Krelen is going to check that level 4 magic, so...
Well, Welcome, Classic Gamer. Yes, all the runners at this phase of the tournament, they have experience and they are putting up phenomenal times.
Absolutely phenomenal. I'll see if I can get that fixed. Okay.
A cat +1, and there's our item. It is the chime. So we could be looking at an early Mirage Tower play possibly here. The canal is open.
When I have early access to nuke and lots of it, I do not mind a cheeky Mirage play. I'm gonna be honest.
Not at all. There's a lot of things that could go right for you with these nukes. You could encounter, manipulate some Tyros, possibly a T-Rex. Could have rolled load. Lots of things to check there. You still need that ship though, so it might be interesting to see if they decide to dip into ice here or possibly elsewhere.
So it's not going to be 100% accurate because of stream delay, but we do at least have a timer giving a rough race time now. Apologies about that.
No worries, we know that you're multitasking tonight. Thank you, Whoop.
Actually, there we go. Slightly more accurate now. I forgot about the 10-minute delay. Alright. So, Krelen, skipping over... Did he poke his head into those level 6 shops?
He did not. He headed straight for the Sage, and the Sage is going to give him the herb.
Okay. So we've got a chime from cytown and a herb from Krelen. And no idea what's... Oh, here we go. Now he's checking. So we do at least...
See, life and exit there, level 6. That's got to be a bit discouraging.
Yeah, but at the same time, like... I didn't quite catch what the costs were, but... You know, it's one of those things, if you say make an armory play, and pull out enough cash real quick, you might be able to at least get that exit if we have to go into Ice Cave to get our boat.
It's possible. You're going to need quite a bit of experience, too, to get those level 6 charges, so you're going to have to find a good encounter tile or take quite a few high experience reward encounters.
Very true, but yeah.
This is Dark Moon After Hours on Randomania 2.
Hopefully not. Yeah, we haven't seen the vendor item yet either, I believe, so...
No vendor item has been confirmed as of yet. That's still on the table. As cytown is making his way out of Elf now.
Yeah. So, Krelen, I assume, is going to make the trip up to Provoca. He's got that crystal in hand, so he can do 2 checks at once, and... You know, if either of those turn up to be the floater, then first of all, we've got a jet seat on our hands, but second of all, that will make it a lot easier to figure out what to do about things like going to Ice Cave.
Exactly, I like the play. I think this is the play right now. Turn in that crystal after checking Provoca. You have 2 item checks there, you have checks for armor, checks for spells. You may even make a play up to PLP real quick with the nukes that you have available. Pick up some experience and gold quickly.
Yeah. Because, yeah, while these fighters are not going to necessarily hit very hard, like I said, they still have their hit percent progression, they still have their magic defense progression, they still have their vitality, so you still benefit from hanging levels on these fighters.
We have pirates on our screen versus Krelen. Does anyone ever bet on the pirates to win?
Only when we turn on the unsafe pirates flag.
We don't see enough of that flag anymore.
I mean, that's what we have the Iron Goal for, but there is our tail from the pirates.
Tails discovered, not required, but with your current party composition, I do think we're going to be seeing class changes here.
There is no reason not to make that clash change, I feel like. So... I'm gonna go ahead and peep the white and black magic. Kill 3, and we also do see A-Rub. I'm one of those people who tends to be a fan of... At least, if you have the room in your spellbook, picking up A-Rub, just because those times where you need it, you wish you had it. But we do also have Temper available at level 2 black magic, so if we do cast A-Rub, it's going to be the fighters doing it.
Right. I like the play by Krelen there. He checked the black magic shop after checking the white shop for the first time, then returned to the white magic shop to finish out his spell selections. And without ribbons, A-Rub can be a lifesaver.
Oh, absolutely.
Classic pointing out the resistances that are available. Thank you, Classic, and welcome.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things, if you've got a fully kitted knight, Aegis, Pro Ring, Dragon Armor, A-Rub gives you the rest of your protection except for time magic, and Matoya has the floater, and the Elf Prince has the loot.
That's gotta feel good. You know that you're not going to be sailing the ocean blue forever with the early floater. This is where routing now becomes imperative.
Absolutely, because, well, not just routing, but also efficiency in checking your routing. Not getting overly invested in a check you bounce off of, recognizing you can come back for something.
This is very true, and as we have all discovered in this round, our monster in the box flag is on. So the risk normally associated with checks in regards to time loss is now multiplied by the chance of encountering who knows what in these boxes.
So it's going to be interesting to see where folks go. I imagine we're going to see an immediate Sarda check out of both runners because they're better at this than I am, and so probably remember that Sarda exists. Probably that'll be compounded into a Melmond check for spells. At least to see if Life 2 is available somewhere. That might not be an immediate check, but then I can imagine one of these runners may make an Earth dive, not necessarily to do anything in Earth, but just to check all those spike tiles on floor 1. Because you've got the 2 tiles in Hall of Giants, and then I believe you have 2 more distinct encounter tiles to work with.
That's correct. The tiles have given a lot more incentive to going into Earth Cave and at least checking. Sometimes you may even find something good in the chests that are there, so I would not be surprised to see that play either.
But we are about 16 minutes in, and Krelen is going to be our first runner to get airborne.
16 minutes airborne. This has got to feel good. I'm sure that Krelen knows now his route is going to be very important, and as aforementioned, he's heading straight to Sarda.
Yep. Alright, and what does the old man have for us today? You know, I was about to say Sarda, I think, has the key, and lo and behold.
Sarda remembers the time you forgot about him.
And Krelen! Okay, I like this move on Krelen's part. Going immediately back to Northwest Castle to check these 2 tiles. And I mean, there are 3 chests here too, but he's here for the tiles.
This is a good play. It's right there, and he's rewarded with a Sun Sword that's going to be immediately usable by the fighter.
Yep. And a decent Sun Sword.
Decent tile as well. 4 giants will go down relatively easy to your nukes, and they offer a lot of gold.
Not so fast, Czar. These giants have over 318 health, it looks like.
Ooh, no, they did not roll low, did they?
Yeah, that back one ate 2 nukes and was still standing.
This is not the tile.
maybe not the tile you want to farm, yeah. Other tile gives us double green dragon, so I think that this confirms we're on the B-side encounters for this, for these flags.
I believe it does, yes. This is a very high golden experience encounter, and they're going down relatively easy.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's right, that's the 2 gas dragons, so I believe that means that's the 4 gas dragon encounter. Also known as... We had to revise how everything worked in terms of XP scaling because of that fight.
And Krelen is looking for the ghost of Astos? Did he forget he turned in the crown already? Did he get the crown? Did he get the crown?
Yeah, well, yeah, he got the crown, because the crown was handed to us by the princess. Yeah, he had to have gotten the crown, because the crown gave him the crystal, and the crystal, is how he has the airship.
Oh no, maybe the pressure might be getting to a little bit there. This can happen in the race. He's going over to Corneria now, he's going to check the keylock test.
Yeah, he didn't say anything in the race room about, guys, I think my seed is bugged, so I think he may have figured out that that he already killed Astos, and that's why there is no Astos.
Looks like he found some worms, monster in a box here, and they're roughing him up a little bit.
Yeah, classic. Even if he did mark something on his even if he did mark it on his tracker, classic speculating that maybe he forgot to mark it out on his tracker. There is the distinct possibility that, that he just, it slipped his mind. Because when you get something like Crown and Astos down first thing, you're not necessarily used to doing that so early in your progression.
Exactly.
And there, yeah.
cytown discovers the floater, and Krelen picked up a white shirt from the monster in a box.
Yep. So, we do have 2 pieces of equipment in our incentive pool. The power gauntlet and the white shirt. And the thing is unlike key items, those can be in our monster in a box chests. So, yeah.
He just managed to get lucky on that one, or unlucky as you like to put it. It's going to be useful. I don't think we've seen Invis or Invis 2 yet, so...
Let me go check the notes that are incredibly handsome tracker left. We have seen Invis at level 4 white, so... that is going to be available. But yeah, that's the only thing we've seen so far. But what we're also going to see is Krelen going ahead and getting this clash change. I guess remembered, oh yeah, I have a tail, and now I can throw this white shirt on my white mages and have an incredibly buff, heavily armored nuker for a while.
Indeed, the white shirt offering resistances as well, so... we have not seen any ribbons yet. We have seen 1 pro ring, however.
Yeah, I don't even think we've seen what store's selling the pro rings yet.
We have not. And Krelen's going to head over to Elf Castle now.
Yeah, he never...
as cytown's going to be taken to the sky. At about the 22-minute mark, looks like he's going to take these peeds.
Yeah. Krelen picking up his xylophone. Don't let that loot on the side there fool you. That is 100% a xylophone.
Ah, music. Universal.
Alright, looks like these peeds at least are fairly fragile, so...
Like, Krelen is making the play to Marsh Cave now, so cytown has made this play already. This is going to even things out quite a bit here, I think.
Yeah, that's going to put them pretty much even on key items, because cytown's about to get the key. So... as you said, Czar, routing is going to come into play, and this is about the point where it's going to start mattering, because these runners are probably going to go in fairly different directions. We have the waterfall open to us, we have Ice Cave open to us, and we have Ordeals open to us. So...
We also have Mirage Temple.
Very true, I did forget we have the chime, in spite of us talking about the fact that Krelen's about to get his chime.
It's all good. The chime and the xylophone and all these musical instruments can be confusing at times. There's so many of them now.
Yeah, I guess if you're playing the xylophone, you have like one of those little boom things for the chime to hang off of, so you can just be like, ding, 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 ding.
The xylophone gives us a Legend of Zelda feel. Something like Link's Awakening.
I think the xylophone was... No, that was a marimba in Link's Awakening. Can't remember which dungeon you get the marimba out of, but there is the chime for Krelen. So... yeah, so we've got really 4 choices of where to go in terms of where we're going to find our progression, because right now, we can't get into Sea Shrine, we can't finish Earth Cave, we can't finish Sky, and all Volcano's going to have is loot. But not the loot. And oh yeah, the vendor item's still out there, so it'll be interesting to see what Krelen opts to pursue. And Cytown, for that matter. Go for it.
I think the most lucrative play right now is to just check the caravan, maybe dip into Earth, and then head over to Mirage. Mirage is a quick check. You can get in and out of there. You don't have exit available. And the chances of finding high experience or gold encounters are there.
Krelen currently has no living white mages, though. He might want to fix that. Didn't see what got his white mages, but...
Oh yeah, that's true. This is probably going to push him toward Onrak and Waterfall. This could be something that comes into play later in this race here.
Yeah. Cytown, meanwhile, doing something we didn't see Krelen do. He is going to go look in the Dwarven Treasury despite not having TNT.
See what he finds here.
Yeah. This actually makes sense for Cytown to do, though. Krelen has that Sun Sword that he fished out of Northwest. Cytown has not checked the Northwest Castle's treasury. So, he may be specifically looking for a weapon.
It's true. He's having to deal with these Saber Tigers here. Saber Tigers known for their high critical hit. He gets them down.
Hmm? So there's our Invis 2 at least at Onrak. Not necessarily where you want to see it, but unlikely to have much competing with it, so if you get a high enough level to cast it, it's there.
Right, it's going to be high level. It's going to take some commitment to get charges of it, as Cytown is battling some blue dragons here. They roughed up one of his fighters. Gets a wealth of experience from that encounter and finds... was that silver armor, I believe?
Yeah, it was a suit of silver armor, so... I'm guessing both of our runners are still rocking the chain +2 we saw fairly early on. So that's going to be a nice improvement for someone.
3 monster in a box here in the Dwarf Cave, wow.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that Sai's complain, but there is another Pro Ring -1, so... Pro Ring -1, not necessarily a piece of armor that you're going to be too broken up about seeing. It's still going to be +7 absorb, the evade penalty isn't going to be too bad, and it still gives you that vital death protection.
Right, so all in all, a pretty good play there by Cytown. Got kind of lucky there with the items, as we did not see out of bounds bat.
Yeah. Sometimes it happens. But Krelen getting the slab out of the waterfall. Meanwhile, Sai is going to go check this little treasury room here in Northwest and is going to get the good news that there is, first of all, a Sun Sword, and it's decent, but second of all, not checking the spike tiles. Okay, never mind.
He did not check. Commentator curse there?
only if you presume time is non-linear. We are on a stream delay.
Can't argue time theory.
Yeah, we're not going to debate the linearity of time right now, Czar.
Aw.
I realized as soon as I said it that you were one of the few people who, if I say that in the booth, you might actually take me up on it. I didn't see those gold bracelets +2 earlier when we were in Provoca, but Cytown must have made note of them, came back with some cash in hand, and pretty well armored up on his party.
That's a very nice pickup considering what was available. Huge upgrade for Cytown. As it looks like he's headed to Ordeals, possibly? No, he's going for that class change.
Yeah. And it looks like, I think I saw we have a +4 Dragon Sword. Dragon Sword! Not a weapon you see getting used very often normally, but with the weapon blessings available, +4 Dragon Sword's gonna do work.
Nothing to stop that for sure.
I believe it's on par with somewhere between a vanilla ice sword and a vanilla defense sword in terms of damage.
It's somewhere around there, yes, and it does offer the extra dragon damage. Could be something to think about against Tiamat, perhaps.
Yeah. And Cytown, looting chests in Cardia, finds a pack of Germaduces in a monster in a box encounter.
This is going to get him a lot of experience in gold for sure. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these runners, I think, have been pretty decently keeping pace with one another in terms of experience.
Right, I'm really interested to see when they're going to be comfortable going for an orb. We're coming up on the half-hour mark now. Usually around 35-45 minutes is the time I start to feel the orb crunch, so they're still well ahead of that.
Well, it's also one of those things, the only orb they can go for right now is Volcano, and with these flags, generally I've noticed folks tend to save Volcano for the late game. The only real incentive is looting, to go to Volcano early, and you can open boxes in other dungeons that help your progression.
Right, and seeing as we do not have a black belt, the setup for the black belt in the Volcano is also off the table.
Yeah, so it's one of those things, I imagine both of them are going to be, annoyed that they can't start clearing these fiend dungeons until they find their key items, but hopefully keep their wits about them and realize, oh, my opponent also is in the same boat. Krelen, so Krelen gets I think, smaller Germaduce encounter, but does get a larger mummy pack out of this other monster in a box, so... Probably...
We're very close here.
Yeah. So, Sai needs to go over to Waterfall to get that slab, because I think the way things are shaking out right now, we're almost certainly going to need to pay a visit to Lefane.
The odds are pointing toward it. You still have the chance of the item being in Mirage rather than Sky, but I think that turning in the slab is the right play at this time. Cytown headed back over to Crescent.
Yeah, we do have a ruby floating out there, so... that is still a thing, and I know I believe you tend to be a fan of feeding the poor Titan.
Yes, if I can spare my rubies for the Titans, I shall. Or any number of healthy foods we have now available. We have a whole smorgasbord for the Titans, so...
And unhealthy foods too, but it's all gonna come down to where that ruby winds up. Yeah, and I will admit I foolishly looked away. We didn't see the vendor item in on-rack, right?
No, I don't believe the item shop was checked there.
Yeah, we'll see. was gonna say, we'll see if Krelen flies over to Gaia, because he should have enough information to know at this point that if the vendor item wasn't in on-rack, then it's in Gaia.
For sure, cytown is setting his sights on ordeals, so we're going to get our first look into the Castle Ordeals.
As well as our first look at Melman's Magic Shops.
Hello, Fade.
Also Life 2. Honestly, I think I would rather have the Life 2 than the Fade, though we'll probably see the runners pick up both of those, just in case. And Fast is just out of our reach.
That could play a role later, depending on if those gatekeepers have rolled high absorb.
Well, I mean, that's... Yeah. Block 2 will help a little bit with that, and hello, Gershark Big Eye Encounter.
That's another chunk of experience. Some very nice B-sides here for the tiles. We have a question in chat. They checked vendor. I do not believe we had a vendor check yet, confirmed?
Yeah, like I said, I don't... The only one I've missed is if Krelen checked the vendor in on-rack. But I think you were paying attention to Krelen's movements, so you would have caught it, but... I'm also not seeing anything in his inventory to suggest that he found the item, so I believe our vendor item is going to wind up being in Gaia.
Yes, I believe you are correct, as Krelen is setting his sights on the ice cave, so we have some interesting divergence now from the runners. Still neck and neck here.
Yeah, I don't hate it, because he picked up Exit. I believe either he or cytown picked up Exit, and I think Krelen might have been the one to... No, because he... Someone's picked up Exit, and with the experience they've been gaining... Okay, so Krelen does not have Exit yet. But either way, I don't hate this. You've got the firepower to clean out Ice Cave. Even if you run low on nukes, you know where Harm 4 is. And you have a Sun Sword. So most of the random encounters in Ice Cave do not pose a threat.
He certainly has the firepower to get through. It's a little questionable that he didn't go pick up Exit first from Crescent, as it was right there. But he's going to power through nonetheless. He has one charge.
As you pointed out earlier, when we saw it originally, levels are a factor. He may have just been like, I'm not going to have the levels to do this, so... Hey, Zar, it's your favorite sword. And it's even worse than usual today.
So we have not found much for our way of swords, really. Dragon +4, the best we've been able to find thus far.
I mean, a Vorpal -1 still has a decent enough crit rate, and isn't significantly worse in raw damage than your standard Vorpal sword. But that is Ice Armor +2. That's really nice, and that's also a cube.
Cube and ordeals makes me think there's probably something in the Sky Castle.
I mean, even if nothing else, if I'm in Cytown's shoes, that Sky play is looking a lot better. Just because I've already picked up Exit, and I know that Sea Shrine may still be on the table for my Go mode.
It's true.
So being able to get out of sea quickly, if, say, it's on Mermaid's side, it may be worthwhile to go ahead, make that play into Mirage, get that experience, and that's the ship. Krelen resets out.
Oh, that's a tough find for Krelen there. That's not what he wanted to get out of there. Fortunately, he was not in there very long, so he's headed into Volcano now.
Yeah, it's one of those things with Ice Cave, you knock it out. Knocking it out early is not the worst decision, just because so many people put off Ice Cave until the late game.
We see Bane level 7 for Black Magic. Cytown checking level 7 Black Magic.
But now 7 White Magic. And there is our Ruby in the shop. Did Cytown actually get that?
I believe he did.
Alright, I mean, I don't hate it. It was only 11k-ish, so... Maybe thinking of making a cheeky Titan's Trove dive at some point if he doesn't find a ribbon. That being said, he is going to go ahead and make that Mirage play.
T-Rex.
Yeah, and Classic Gamer pointing out in chat that Ruby does also give you a bonus on your experience and gold gains in this flag set, so... cytown may be just thinking 11k is worth it for the enhanced leveling.
I like the play. Experience is going to be key, I think. Making sure you get the levels you need to finish the seed.
Yeah, and with Mirage being the ideal place for a walking grind, especially with nukes in your pocket, cytown is probably going to have all the experience he's going to want, at least for those white mages. With the lower strength on the fighters, you may be thinking you want to take those fighters a little higher than usual. If only because you don't necessarily have a good weapon for them. But that Ice Sword +3 Krelen just grabbed out of the armory, yeah, that right there is end-game quality.
It certainly is. Ice Sword +3, you're getting up to probably around vanilla Excalibur levels, maybe even a little more. Also have your extra damage against fire enemies, so great pickup there for cytown.
And Krelen, correctly identifying that Dragon +4 probably a better pick than the Sun Sword for Volcano.
Excuse me, that was Krelen that got the Ice Sword, my bad, not cytown.
Yeah. But, yeah, I think, like I said, I think the Dragon +4 and the Sun Sword are basically right around the same tier in terms of damage, and the Dragon probably has the better crit chance, so... Much as I love the Sun Sword, I think Krelen made the correct call in keeping the Dragon Sword strapped to a fighter instead of putting the Sun Sword on.
Right, it's little things like that with the current meta in this flag set that you have to know. If you know your blurses, you know your malices, it can be very important in a situation like this where you don't have a black belt available, you're going to have to find some sort of weapon, and there's contenders. This weapon is nearly identical to this one. Which one is better as we find another weapon?
That is a +3 Maza, so... yeah. Honestly, if I'm in Krelen's shoes, there's a part of me that's tempted to say, well, there's our Oxyol on cytown's side. There's a part of me that's tempted to say, alright, I'm gonna throw this Maza onto my white mage for now, because... you know...
Why not? You've got,
The swords I have, those are gonna be good enough.
Right, the knights aren't quite the powerhouses they normally are, but this weapon selection is phenomenal, and the White Wizard can make very good use of a strong Massa.
Honestly, I think this might be the first season of Commentator where the Maza actually rolled well. Not gonna lie. Now, so here's the other thing to keep in mind. So, okay. The Dragon Sword, I think we picked that up in Cardi. I think cytown might have it. That Ice Sword and that Maza, there's a good chance Psy is going to run straight past them.
There is. You can get into that frame where you've left Volcano for the end and you're just kind of go-moding everything. We'll have to see how that unfolds.
Now, I believe there are 2 Ice Swords in the game, so... Psy might stumble into the other Ice Sword, and that'll work out well for him. But,
cytown continuing on to Sky. This is a bold play.
I mean, his characters are already in their low 20s, and he's got plenty of firepower. The main thing he's lacking in is melee damage, but...
Ooh, carry hitting hard.
I mean, as I always remind folks, carry 1 and carry 2 are sneaky good. But Krelen is going to light our first orb, the Orb of Fire, at about the 43-minute mark. So that about hits what you were saying before about the when you want to start lighting orbs.
Right, I think he's feeling much more comfortable now with his equipment and his ability to be able to push through to get these orbs. Some really high-end equipment we're seeing thus far. That Dragon Armor +2 was a great pickup for cytown.
And Krelen, looking at the fact that Carrie brought him down to a 2-man party, is basically going to go ahead and start picking up some levels.
This is a pretty good tile for it.
Yeah, a vanilla X-Cal. So, alright. Cytown...
Do you feel comfortable, Walt? Do you feel comfortable with that sword setup going into Temple? You seem a little passive there.
It's chaos. That, with the flags we've got on, that X-Cal is going to do work on everything that's not chaos. But with the malice on those fighters, I think if you're in Cytown's shoes, if you're saying this weapon set looks good enough, you're basically saying, my fighter is going to take this Excalibur up until I reach Chaos. And then I'm going to be swinging a Vorpal -1, with Tempers being thrown on by my white mages. And we also do find a Ribbon +1 out of the box here on the right side of Sky 3.
Great find for Cytown. He elected to dig a little bit deeper here, and he was rewarded for it, so that's our first ribbon we found yet. Oh, and he also finds an Aegis shield, so the equipment is starting to line up here for Cytown very nicely.
Yeah, he does have a pro ring in his pocket, so he does have the option of suiting one of those knights up in the poor man's ribbon, and, you know, if he thinks about it, he does have that A-rub available, and I don't believe we have seen Wall yet.
I do not believe so. It could be sitting there in Lefane. So those ribbons, all the more lucrative.
Yeah, that Wall is at level 7 or 8, so we are not going to be relying on Wall this seed. So, if Cytown does the math and realizes that, you know, that A-rub will basically give one of his fighters almost a complete ribbon, he may, if he didn't pick it up already, swing back by Provoca just to have it in his pocket.
Looks like there was an opal shield found by Cytown there as well. Looks like he is going to pick that up. That's much better than the silver shield.
Yeah, I believe it was an O.
Oh no. Bane and Glance from these red Ankylos. This could be trouble.
And Frost. Not so bad, but, oh, you're right. There are Ankylos.
Oh, he gets away.
Barely. The problem for him now, though, is that he tossed out a, I didn't see what piece of equipment he tossed away to get that shield, but...
It was a silver shield. Not a huge loss, but still an absorb loss.
Yeah,
and I wonder what level Krelen is setting his sights on here. He's continuing to take these green dragons.
He may be at least thinking he wants to get that white mage up to nuke-proof levels.
I think that's a good play. White mage can get pretty high HP once they start leveling. Are we going to see a Warmac here? We are on the Bridge of Destiny for Cytown.
Yeah. Go ahead and get your beep boops in chat, folks. Trying to call the Warmac to us.
So quick shout out to our YouTube audience. We know that you're out there, and we appreciate you supporting us over there on YouTube for the Final Fantasy Randomizer Spring Tournament and all of our events that we're so graciously hosted by here on Randomania, Speed Gaming, our family of networks. Thank you all so much.
And if you are watching on YouTube, first of all, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, but when you comment, you're also free to throw, like, a robot emoji into chat. No one's stopping you. But it's more fun if you do it live. Meanwhile, though, Cytown continuing to crawl along the Bridge of Destiny, we do not see a war mech, but we are about to see Tiamat.
I think not to go with the Dragon Sword there. Should still be able to power through without much trouble.
Got Excalibur.
Krelen taking to the air now. Looks like he has finished his grind there with the Green Dragons.
Yeah. Which it looked like he got to about level 30, 32, which I believe where the White Mage definitely has enough. Yeah, that White Mage has 430 HP, so he took it exactly to the point where that White Mage can take a nuke to the face and live.
I like the play. I think he's feeling very confident now in his party's ability to go mode.
Yep.
And Cytown is down with Tiamat. The Sky Orb is lit at the 49-minute mark for Cytown.
Alright, so both runners with an orb lit. Cytown with probably, in my opinion, the best orb to have lit first, because Sky is a long check. Even if you are running through it, it still is going to take you a hot minute. So having it off the plate, you know no other fiend, like, no other orb is going to take you as long as lighting the air orb did.
Right, Sans a wipe. Sky is definitely a long check. There's an item you have to track down. There's just a high volume of encounters on the Bridge of Destiny right at the end of it. And it definitely feels good when you're lighting that orb first, as you mentioned. Cytown going to check the armor here. He's going to find that ice sword in there.
Yeah. Now, if he now the real test is going to be when he gets down to Agama floor. If he pops open that first box. If he does, then he is going to be a very happy man. And I think at that point, it's safe to say that he's probably going to have an advantage. If he doesn't, I feel like they'll still be on par at that point. Because Krelen, with a Maza and a level 30 plus fighter, that Black Mage strength is a lot less of an issue.
It is. Krelen does have a slab, and not that it's going to take Cytown that long to get it, but it may come into play as we continue to see how their routing develops.
So there, yeah, Cytown just got that Ice Sword +3, is going to slap that onto his other fighter. I don't think he actually has the Dragon Sword, so...
Oh, he didn't have it, okay. That must have been Krelen.
Yeah, he did have the Sun Sword, so that would have been helpful, but... Krelen finally picking up that Vorpal Sword, opting to go ahead and strap it in, gets his cube, so... We'll see if he decides to also head into Sky. But Cytown has checked the armory, I believe exited out with that gear in hand, and is going to be making his way down to carry. So, like I said, we know that there's a Maza right by the entrance to Agama floor, so we'll see if he stops to grab that.
Come on, Cytown. You know you want to check it. It's a quick check, buddy.
Alright.
Krelen out of ordeals now. Gonna head back to the airship. He has his cube in hand.
And Cytown gets that Maza, so... Right now, Zar, I'm feeling like Cytown maybe has, like, I don't know, a 2 to 3 minute lead on Krelen.
I think that's a fair estimate. Krelen could easily make that up with his levels, however, so it's really neck and neck
Well,
here.
I'm
Pass on the
kind
sandworms.
I'm kind of taking that into account, because cytown already has Sky cleared, but Krelen has a bit of an exploration advantage, and a bit of a level edge. So, while air is going to take a little bit of time for Krelen, he's going to get some of that back with Psy doing a few things that Krelen's already done. And did Krelen check all these chests on Agma Floor 2? Because I
I don't believe so.
yeah, I think he stopped once he had that Maza in hand. And
there's
there
the rod.
is our rod. Alright, so we now know where all of the Fiend dungeons... We now know where all the access to the Fiend dungeons is located. Which I believe means that,
Cytown making his way to carry now. He's going to have 2 orbs lit. Going to be our first runner to 2 orbs. He also has the Oxyale, which is another item that Krelen does not.
yeah, but Krelen is almost certain, like, Krelen's going to find it. Yeah.
So both of the runners are going to be forced with the decision, where do I go in Mermaids? Do I go to Mermaids or do I go Kraken side first? What's your pick? What do you think?
Kraken side always in this flag set. If you look into, like, it doesn't take that long to open all the boxes on Kraken side. If you get the key item there, you're in and out. And if it's not on that side, you still have Kraken killed. As soon as you find the item, you can leave. Like, it's just... Unless you are actively looking for gear to deal with Kraken, like, if you are still looking for armor, or a ribbon, or a weapon, I can see the mermaids play then. But outside of that, I cannot see someone... I cannot see a good reason to go mermaids first. But as I was trying to muse over, at this point it looks like all of our remaining key items lead into a long fetch quest chain that ends at the power bonk. And that is the really interesting question, is do you dig out that bonk knowing that your fighters have the disadvantage of Black Mage strength? Or do you say, I've got a Maza +3, I've got plenty of other decent equipment, I can power through without needing the bonk?
I think you go the latter and just hope for the best. If you end up wiping to something really nasty, then perhaps consider it.
Yeah. So, okay, that, I guess, leads to a secondary question. At this point, we have sufficient knowledge to know the incentive item in Sea Shrine is the beginning of the fetch chain that leads to, the bonk. So, do you take the time to dig that item out? Even if you don't plan to follow up on it, just so if you do need the bonk, you don't have to go back into Sea to find it.
Well, let's see, we're at the 56, actually 57-minute mark now. I think that has to be taken into account. I think you have to maybe make 1 or 2 quick checks, Kraken side, possibly Sharknado room. If nothing, push through and hope for the best.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely would be my inclination, but it is... It comes down to how comfortable... Like, with most things in Final Fantasy I Randomizer's endgame, it comes down to how comfortable you are with being on the borderline. And yeah, Krelen is not going to get that dragon armor. He picks up the Oxyale, doesn't even finish the room, I think.
Wow, he must really be pushing for go mode here.
Yeah. I mean, he might have gone up, and I just missed him picking up the Dragon Orb. I didn't see him equip it, so
I don't believe he got it.
yeah. So, I mean, he's in go mode at this point. He can kill all 4 fiends. He has what he needs to get into Topher. We'll know here in a minute if he is satisfied with what he has.
Cytown making his way back to Onrak. He's going to pick up INV2. I love this play.
Yeah, no, I do not hate it. As far as invisibility goes, we have Invis at level 4 and a white shirt. We have not seen Ruse.
I have not seen Ruse.
And I do not believe we're going to, because I think at this point we can safely confirm that it's got to be in one of the level 8 shops, and neither runner is going to check the level 8 shops. But Mastigo's in chat making an excellent observation. Krelen knows that the only thing in C is going to be a fetch quest that leads to the bonk. Cytown doesn't. He didn't go to Lefane first. So he doesn't have that rod. He might dig out the item here and follow the fetch quest.
That's very true.
But
He's checking the right side to begin here in the Sea Shrine. Or at least on the first floor. And he's going left, okay.
yeah. Now, you do see that play a lot. It's not a lot of steps out of your way to open that box, and that way you don't have to remember about it later. And I see that we have once more reached the Bridge of Destiny. Krellen, I don't even think checked the greed chests on Sky 3. I think he went straight to the teleporter.
He did. He'll miss out on a Noble Shield, a ribbon there, but I think he feels very confident in his levels right now.
I mean, he'd have to. He's not even taking the slime fights. So he is 100% in just blast his way through the seed mode. There's also an X-Cal on Sky 3 that he's missing that he missed out on, but so Cytown going almost certainly to have the better weapons. The only question is, how long is digging out the item in C going to take him? And what is going to be in Topher that could potentially stymie Krellen, where Cytown is going to be able to just breeze through? Potentially.
Right, I see a lot of orbs being lit very quickly here in the near future, very soon.
Oh, absolutely. Sai is going to get this water orb here in a minute. Go back in, look, find the incentive item. Hopefully remember that he has not been to Waterfall yet. Actually, wait, did he go to Waterfall? I think I might have missed him picking up the slab, now that I think about it.
I believe Cytown has been to the waterfall.
Okay. Then I'm just bad at tracking.
I may be wrong.
Well, you know what? I'm going to trust you on this one, and that way you get the blame. Anyway, Krellen does light his air orbs, so...
Yeah, Krellen is on his way. He's going to be pushing through these dungeons very quickly, I think.
Yeah, he is not going to stop to dig, I think. Based on his actions in Sky, I don't even know if he stops to check the crack inside greed chests. Ah, sandworm spike tile. That's not the worst thing to see.
No, not at all. Chances of, coming in to see, looking for that grind are low, but it's there. We've seen several tiles that are actually very good to see.
Yeah.
B-side included.
Oh yeah, I can't remember where we saw that Gershark Eye encounter, but... or Big Eye encounter, but...
It was Volcano, I believe?
I think so. It was somewhere in Volcano. Yeah, so Cytown not finding the incentive item here on Kraken's side. So he's going to go ahead, go kill Kraken, rest up, come back in, start opening boxes, probably on Mermaid floor. Just because the less time you spend on that floor between the entrance and Mermaid, the better.
Right. Nobody likes the reverse C-check, but as of right now, there could very well be something in that room.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't like dealing with the ghosts, and that is one of the floors that ghosts do appear on. So the less encounters I can take there, the better. So Krelen at least gonna check this Sharknado chest, so maybe thinking, you know, if I can get the beginning of that bonk chain, I'm not gonna be mad.
I think that's a good play. Also, quick programming note, be sure to give these runners a follow. They're putting out a great show for us tonight. This is still anybody's race here, as we are approaching just over the 1 hour mark on Randomania.
So, yeah. Sai, you know, once he's cleared out Crack, he's gonna go translate that slab, he's gonna go to Lefane. I mean, after he's collected the key item here. The real question, I think, becomes, does he check Lefane before he chases the fetch quest, or after he chases the fetch quest? Because that's going to be the determination on how far behind he is getting into Topher, because Krelen is going to be the first one to Topher.
And we have dual squids on the screen. That's hype.
Mm-hmm.
Of all the places to high five.
Yeah, the place where you get the most high fives.
No Brack strats today. We're going to have to cut our way through this one.
Yeah. But, cytown is going to be the first one to take the Kraken down, but I can't... Yeah, Krelen is right behind him, so... Both runners pretty even lighting their third orbs. The difference is, Krelen already has a rod in hand. He is going to be straight into Earth. Sai, unfortunately, heading back down. The only upside I can see for Sai is if we have another ribbon down here. Because that will give him 2 ribbons to Krelen's none. I don't think Krelen has seen... I don't think we've seen a second ribbon yet.
I think Krelen did get 1 ribbon in Sky?
No, he skipped over the ribbon chest.
Oh, that's right. That's correct. It was cytown that got the ribbon in Sky, so no wall available either.
Yeah, so this is the big question for these two, for Topher, is offense or defense? Krelen has the offense advantage, I feel like. Cytown's knights are in their mid-20s. Krelen's are at least in the lower mid-30s on one of them. So, Krelen's got a level advantage, but cytown has the defensive advantage.
I think I favor Krelen a little bit here, simply because with his setups, he's probably going to have the lower level for meat shields, and that's going to save him a lot of time on setups.
Yeah, I am apt to agree with you, and there is the bottle for cytown, which Mastigos in chat correctly pointing out that was the best case scenario, just because that's going to push him toward Gaia, which will hopefully push him to Lefane. And, well, the other nice thing about that is, once he realizes that once he gets the rod out of Lefane, that's a quick check to get the bonk. Because that fairy is going to hand him either the adamant or the TNT, and that turn-in can be immediately turned in just like that.
Right, I'm sure we're going to see that from him going forward here, as Krelen is almost to the Earth Cave now.
Okay, so cytown is going to chase the fetch quest first. Again, this isn't the worst case, because this is going to put him in Dwarf Cave. He's going to get that bonk. He can immediately turn in the slab and go to Lefane. So, yeah, I think what I said earlier about it being about a 3-minute difference between cytown and Krelen. I think that has swung at this point, but I think it's going to be about a 3-minute difference getting into Topher.
It's going to be pretty tight for sure. We're going to have ourselves a photo finish potentially, as cytown is probably going to be having a little bit longer fiend fights than Krelen will be.
Yeah, I mean, it really is going to come down to what the fiends have and if it's enough to stop Krelen.
Dang lazy dwarves anyway.
Yeah, no, I mean, we knew it was going to be lazy dwarves as soon as we saw that bottle. But there is the power bonk. So that kind of swings the balance of power a little bit back in cytown's favor in some ways. He's got defense and he has a good offensive buff. So, either way...
If the gatekeepers have rolled high absorb, it will definitely favor his party and his setup.
Yeah. Alright, so...
All will be soon.
Yeah, so Krelen gonna go ahead, poke into the Dwarven Treasury, probably hoping to find one of those good defensive items. cytown getting the unfortunate reminder that ninjas do not learn level 5 magic. Or higher.
Those knights, however, are going to be loaded.
Oh yeah, no, this party is going to be incredibly hard to put down and keep down if they can get out of a given fight. On both runners' sides.
Krelen cleaning up in the dwarf cave here, finds those 3 monster in the boxes.
Yeah, unfortunately not gonna dig out what he was hoping to find. I can't remember what all was down here, but yeah, it's one of those things he just straight up resets out. There was nothing he was hoping for, so we may see him poke these 3 right side chests, but yeah, he's just not even going to bother. He's just going to say, alright, let's hope that I'm buff enough to deal with this.
Krelen enters the Temple of Fiends Revisited at 1 hour, 10 minutes, approximately.
Yeah, it looked like about 1:10:15, so at least going on our timer. There is a little bit of stream delay, I believe, so we are, you know, our timer is probably about 20-30 seconds off. But yeah, not even checking the 2 chests in the slab room in Topher, so Krelen thinking this is good enough. Let's get through let's finish this seed off. But cytown now in go mode with a bonk and probably feeling a little bit behind.
So let's hear from you, chat. Who's going to be our gatekeeper tonight? Is it going to be Kraken 2? Is it going to be Tiamat 2? Will it be Chaos? Possibly even Carry 2?
I was going to say, I'm always a fan of the Carry 2 gatekeeper because... Yeah, I mean, it's... Carry 2, I always enjoy seeing be the gatekeeper because, you know, not respecting Lich 2, it's whatever. You gotta at least heal up for Carry 2, because Carry 2 has the potential to demolish you just by punching you.
This is true. In all the matches we see, it always seems to be quite an intriguing setup. Usually you know how you're coming into Lich 2, how you're coming into Kraken 2, Tiamat 2. Carry's kind of that wild card. What approach are you coming into with Carry 2?
Alright, Classic Gamer does make a good point with Kraken 2, though. We have so many life casters that he may not know who he's supposed to punch.
It's going to take a pretty powerful fiend to bring down this party as Lich 2 is down and Krelen continues.
Yeah. We did see, though, that the knight who doesn't have the Maza wasn't doing much even to Lich 2.
That's not a good sign. It's definitely the sign of that malice that we have been talking about.
Alright, but we are to carry 2. Krelen not bothering to heal up. Gets fire 3'd. That is acceptable. 5 hits, 500 damage. A nuke rolls out for an extra 130. I didn't see how much damage that Ice Sword dealt, or it might have been the Vorpal -1 actually, but the answer was probably not a lot.
Is the bubble confirmed?
Yeah, carry 2 goes down to a love tap of 52 damage, and we are on to water floor. Not even stopping to deal with the Gur Shark, to take that delicious Gur Shark Big Eye encounter.
Been pretty smooth for Krelen thus far.
Yeah. Sai making good time through Earth. Definitely is going to need some help from one of the fiends, though.
Krelen not bothering to switch his party around. I like the play. Doesn't really matter at this point.
I mean, it's one of those things, yeah, he's got the white shirt, but otherwise his only hope for getting through Kraken 2 safely is violence. Temper comes out a little bit late. Kraken throws out a rub, it does no good. Dropping another nuke. Doing some fair damage with the double nuke. Kraken goes down to it's about 700 damage swing from that Mazza, so...
And a very lenient temple.
Yeah, this is looking good on Krelen's side. Cytown is really going to need Tiamat to do something incredibly rude here.
Krelen got to be feeling the pressure here. Moments away, possibly, from advancing.
Not even bothering with nuke strats, going straight for double tempers on that... Ooh. That was 50-something damage on that untempered knight swinging the Mazza.
So this is our first signs of high absorb here. Massa doing a little bit better damage in the following round.
Yeah, Nuke managing to sneak through a high roll on Tiamat, who promptly deletes one of the knights. Krelen should be fine, though. Tia's at least over halfway to dead. And is now all the way to dead.
So as Krelen approaches Chaos's 4, we have Cytown finishing up Lich. It's all coming down to this Chaos battle.
Yeah. Now, if Chaos wipes Krelen here, we will have a neck-and-neck race.
And he is indeed employing the meat shield strategy. This is a good play.
Yeah. Classic Gamer in chat pointing out we haven't seen anything nasty. I don't think anything's lived long enough to do anything nasty, but we are into Chaos.
Cytown enters Temple, 1 hour, 16-minute mark.
Yeah. Temper's going up, 3 hits for 300 damage. Swirl coming out, leaving a pretty big gash in Krelen. Unfortunately, that heal 3 sharing a level, and that is Nuke out of Chaos. One of the white mages survives.
That's a power-packed combination there. Gonna have to push and finish now.
Yeah, Cure 4 going out gets off, so at the very least, the knight who can deal damage, 4 hits 800, back at full strength, but the meat shield down. Krelen just continuing to pump those tempers into his fighter. Chaos tries to cast Stop. It does not connect. Now the swing comes out, and Chaos is down on Krelen's side.
GG Krelen.
Yeah. That is going to be an official racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 16 minutes, and 59 seconds.
Get your GGs out in chat. Very well done by Krelen. Once he decided he was in go mode, he committed to it. And I think it worked out very well for him.
Yeah, absolutely. That had the potential to go south, but in this case, it did not.
The two-man worked out very well. The meat shields did the job they needed to do. He had the plethora of white magic. Well played. Well-deserved victory here. We're going to try to get him in here in a little bit for a post-race interview. Meanwhile, cytown is coming into the earth floor. Will cytown see anything nasty that Krelen possibly did not?
We'll see.
Cytown getting thumped by those 4 Earths there. So considering the early airship that we saw, it definitely took some time to get things going for these runners, get comfortable with your levels, find the items you felt comfortable with, code moding for progression. Not many ribbons discovered this run at all.
Thor, I believe you'll need to drag Krellen up for us. He is in the general chat, waiting patiently.
We will bring him in here momentarily.
In the meantime, cytown has made it down to fire floor. Runs into the giant Agama fight, gets away from it. Is gonna at least make sure everyone is patched up before dealing with Carry 2. Showing a little bit of respect.
We will have Krelen in here in one moment. I'm having a bit of an issue getting him down here.
Let me go. Ah, there we go. Krellen, GG.
What just happened? I'm confused.
It appears that you had a victory here. You won. GG's to you.
Oh, that wasn't supposed to happen.
So, all right, to actually explain kind of the routing, a few things worked out in your favor. That early play to the waterfall to get that slab meant you had the rod before you dove C, which meant you didn't look for the bottle, which led to the adamant, which led to the TNT, which led to the bonk.
Oh, that's gross. Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, and the bottle was on Mermaid's side. So that's one place where Sai lost a little bit of time, because he didn't check Waterfall until after he had the Oxyale, so he went straight from Waterfall to C and didn't know that that bottle was going to lead to the bonk. And so had to go dig it out. So that's one thing, is your routing gave you better information before you hit Sea Shrine. The other thing that helped you out a lot is that early play in Volcano where you had the Mazza well before Cytown. So you didn't open nearly as many boxes as he did overall.
I had the Ice 3, and I would have been happy with the Ice 3. I mean, I could have just tempered the crud out of my fighter and gotten through that. I've gotten through with worse. I was expecting worse, and I was like, Masa, it's like, okay, no more chests. I see. When I picked out the dwarven stash, I figured I'm gonna lose this right here. This is what's gonna kill me. But like, I had no ribbon, I had no high-end armor. I had like an opal helmet, I think.
So the dragon armor was 2 chests below the Oxyale in Mirage. There was a ribbon in the 6-chest room on Sky 3.
All the healing I need, I just needed to survive, and my knight was high enough level. That was my plan, just get one of them up, and make him be able to do all the damage, especially since I had that Masa.
That was the other big difference. You peeped the spike tiles in Northwest Castle. Cytown didn't. He ran in, opened the boxes, and left.
Yeah, that tile was juicy because I was so tired of getting. I think the last like 3 races I've gotten to chaos with like 1 or 2 characters and barely survived. And it's like I have all the healing in the world. I just need them to survive a couple hits, and I had the white shirt. So,
all right. Let's time travel back to the beginning of the seed as we watch.
No, let's not. Oh my god.
Well, no. I want to talk about the draft.
Oh, okay.
Because you and Cytown looked at the Blursings and were just like, I want a fighter and a white mage. And when it came time to draft, you didn't care what the other person did. You both went, I want a fighter and a white mage. And so you both got your own fighter and your own white mage.
Well, with the mage having with the white mage having, the ninja spell, so, spells up to level 3, 4, whatever.
4.
It's 4, yeah. So it was perfect. It had all the spells that I need, all the healing you could possibly want with the fighter rolling healing. It was beautiful.
Yeah. So Cytown has made it to chaos. So if you don't mind, we'll just take a moment to watch how his chaos fight plays out, because yeah, like I said, he didn't find any of the good grinds. So his party is sitting in the high 20s, but he does have a power bonk.
Chaos has a formidable spell selection. We'll see how this goes for him. A temper coming out.
Throwing a Zeus gauntlet out there. I wonder if that was a misclick, thinking that was the power bonk that he. No.
He's channeling his inner Olympus here. The Knight throws out a heal 3, preemptive. He looks like he wants to ensure that they have high hit points. And there's that nuke. That's a high roll across the board.
Yeah, I mean, that is the other thing about Krelen grinding up that white mage. He was guaranteed to have one white mage who could eat a nuke. And I think that white mage ate a nuke almost to death.
Roll coming out. That's that 1-2 punch that Chaos has.
Yep. Fortunately, the 3 characters who survived the nuke survived the swirl. Quad X comes out, fortunately lands on someone who can take it. That temper stacking looking like it is coming into play on that fighter. Oh, crack! And the other white mage is now down, but so is Chaos. Get your GG's in chat for Cytown, who is helping his daughter get ready for prom, so will not be joining us for a conversation tonight, but hopefully she has fun.
GG.
Cytown finishing in second place with an official race time of 1 hour, 21 minutes, and 4 seconds. GG Cytown.
Absolutely. All right, so yeah, so looking at we didn't really talk about on stream the other classes, but just to give everyone an idea of what your other options were. Thief got the ability to wear a white shirt and minus 10 M defense. The black belt got plus 10 agility and minus 5 luck, because when you have a black belt in your party, you want to be marginally better at running away. Black mage got all of the strength that the fighter and white mage gave up, and lower agility, and the red mage got an MDef boost and wasn't going to hit anything swinging a sword at minus 1 hit percent per level. So, honestly, I think even without the spells, you guys kind of had the best 2 classes out of that set.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I think I have to agree. Well done in your choices there. I have a couple questions about your early game, Krelen.
Oh, I was so nervous.
So tell us about your visit into Northwest Castle there.
Yeah,
what was going on?
I was like, what? Okay, I had completely messed up and hit reset accidentally on my tracker. So I was trying to fill it in, and I couldn't remember if I did the crown. And I was like, okay, I got to go crown. Then I got to go, I think it was to the herb next, because I think I had peeled that one out, or there was something else I had grabbed. And I was like, okay, what do I do? Okay, I got to grab this. Okay, crown. What the heck? It's a crown? Didn't I do the crown? I thought I did the crown. I was like, what am I doing? Where is it? And then I couldn't remember. I just couldn't remember. I was so nervous and shaking at that point.
I
we were wondering.
I did appreciate your solution of, okay, let's make sure this isn't the NES glitching out and power cycling.
I just had to double check, and I'd already found my grind spot. I knew exactly where I was going to grind because I found the dragons, so I didn't really need anything else aside from just getting through the junk. I had the tail promoted. It's like go time, just go. I'll figure it out later. I'll think about it. And eventually I was like, okay, I must have done it, and I still can't remember what the crown gave.
Crown gave the crystal, which gave you the airship.
Okay.
Yeah, no, so, and what probably happened, if you go back and watch the VOD, you'll hear me say this then too. Because Astos is not normally a check you do early, like right out the gate, you basically have to get the crown, and you have to be playing a flag set like this where you don't have a bridge. What I figure probably happened in your memory bank was you did Astos super early and then just wrote it off because you never do Astos super early.
I think that's the earliest I've ever seen it.
Yeah. So it was one of those things with those nukes, you blasted Astos down in, 2 shots of nuke probably. I can't remember if it was you or cytown who specifically double nuked Astos, and that was the end of the fight. But
Probably.
but it's one of those things where you just you vaporized Astos within the first 5 minutes of the seed, and then you had that long hike around the continent, got the airship, did a bunch of other stuff, and so it's very easy to just kind of memory hole that fight with Astos because it was unremarkable. And it was in a time that you don't expect it. So, and that's just kind of a danger of situations like that. But fortunately, in the case of Astos, it was one of those things where you had a very clear visual indicator that Astos was dead. Even if you were terrified that said visual indicator was not, in fact, accurate.
Yeah, the other thing I thought that was going to make me lose that race was ice, because I could not remember if you get the airship early, if it will still roll you the ship someplace where that it's accessible, and I couldn't remember. I was like, this is going to be ship. I know it's going to be the ship. It can't be the ship. And it's like, because I was looking for the Oxyale, and I knew I was so close to go mode, and it was the ship, and I was like...
Ship and canal are always guaranteed to be accessible on the inner sea.
I did not know that, and I've barely made it through, I think, 2 or 3 seeds in the past 2 weeks. But yeah. I was like, I just couldn't remember. It's like, okay, I have to check ice just in case it was the Oxyale, and
Yeah, and I think you checked ice before you dipped Marsh. So you didn't have the intel that the chime was in Marsh, so even if you had realized that the ship had to be somewhere on the inner sea, I don't think you had sufficient information when you dove ice to know you didn't need to go into ice.
It was I was so frustrated, but then I got the chime and I was like, okay, good, I know exactly what's there. And it was just off to the races. I felt so far behind. I was like, this could easily have been done in 110. What am I doing? What am I doing? Why am I checking this? Why am I getting heal at level 1 when a cure 3 is right there? I was so shaky.
I mean, it happens, but the thing is, early nerves don't matter if, you still, like, even with your early nerves, you still generally made most of the right moves. Even the cheeky ice play, you had the firepower to just blast through ice. Yep. If it had turned out to be something you needed, an early ice play is generally to your advantage because of how many runners in this community do not like to go to ice. So if you are comfortable making the early ice play, I'm generally in favor of make the ice play, because you will get more information than your opponent. 9 times out of 10.
I'll avoid it if I can, and I just couldn't remember, and that was probably a good 3-4 minute time sink that probably could have saved me a lot in the long run, but I made it out of there okay.
Yeah. So cytown, and again, if you go back and watch the VOD, where you two diverged is when he got the herb from the sages, he went back to check it, and then went to Marsh Cave, whereas you went up to Provoca and got the airship. And honestly, that's probably where you started to kind of pick up time on him, because you had the airship a good 5 to 10 minutes before he did, just because you went straight to follow up on the crystal and the pirates, and so you had that airship before you did all those checks.
I even left a safety save all the way back at the river crossing, so that if I had to abandon it, I could just warp all the way back.
See, I didn't catch that, and that is a bold move, because this tournament, we've seen the river have nastiness on it.
Terrifying. I was like, okay, don't die, don't die, don't die, don't die.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could have used the housing and not saved to heal up. But, let's see. I'm trying to think if there was anything else that really stood out to me.
We were wondering if there was some nerves during the race, and seeing as you confirmed it, you felt behind during most of the race. Talk us through your grind a little bit, your choice to go with the 2-man there.
Well, I wanted somebody to stay alive. If, let's say, the fighter goes down by like I had no great armor. If the fighter went down from something super nasty, then I wanted my mage to be able to. She had nuke, so I had the safety of getting my party back, just in case. The 2-man, I mean, four green dragons, they were hitting me hard. I had pretty much all the armor I knew I was going to get, unless I got super lucky. They were hitting me for 60-70 damage each. If they ambushed me, I was going to die. The last race I did, I had a black belt, and I wiped on my grind like 3 times trying to do a single class. Even though he could punch him to death, I died. I wanted that safety. I knew I didn't have a ribbon. I didn't have any extra armor. I had the white shirt, which was great, but if something bad happened, I needed the health.
Yeah. Well,
It turned out to be a very good play, as Chaos was throwing out Swirl and Nuke back-to-back there. That's a lot of hit points.
Oh, yeah. I've learned every single Chaos has had Nuke, and I'm pretty sure my grades are so bad, I'm a walking nuclear reactor by this point.
I mean, here's the thing. You're still alive in this tournament, so no matter what you may feel about your nerves, about your play, you're moving on to the round of 16, and there's a lot of runners who don't get to say that.
I mean, I'm up against some of the best runners at this game in the world, and
Krelen, you're in the round of 16.
I know.
You're technically one of the best runners of this game.
I'm honored to be here. I am very humbled to be able to race against these people. If win or lose, I'm a duckling. I've only done one duckling tournament.
Okay. Actually, Krelen, here's the thing you must realize about the spring tournament, and Czar will back me up on this. There's always one duckling who makes it this deep. Will Bloodworth was the first one to pull it off, I believe. Was it, I think it was Thunder one year was the duckling who made it. Burt Reynolds, I think, has been that duckling. Was Crabcakes ever that duckling, Czar? Do you remember?
I think she was involved when she first got into it, yes. The Duckling program turns out champions. We've seen it. So be sure to stay tuned for that.
But yeah, so Krell, it's one of those things, you're just one of the lucky runners who gets to say, yeah, the first time I went up with the veterans, I got deep. And it's generally generally, what the runners who can pull that off, no matter how they feel about their skill, prove it every race.
Yeah, I made it in on the last chance qualifier, and now I'm in the top 16. I am humbled and honored.
Yeah. So, Zar, do you have the bracket pulled up? I'm kind of curious if Krelen's next opponent's been determined yet, or if we're waiting to find out who that is.
I can get on that right away.
All right. But yeah, so...
Not. Ro32 versus Saracen.
Ooh, that's going to be
the
a
winner
good...
of that match.
Yeah, so that's going to be a good match, and y'all's match is going to be good as well. So, honestly, based on what I saw, the main thing I would suggest is just, practice calming your nerves a little bit, man. Trust yourself a little bit more. And most importantly, remember, as far as we know, NPCs do not randomly disappear.
Yeah, no, I was.
If Astos is missing, Astos is dead. You might not remember killing him, you might not know how he died, but assume that you killed him and took his stuff. And
That's
just
why
go.
I left. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah,
It was good. It was one of those feel-good moments of the tournament.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone clipped it, so it will only live on in our hearts and on YouTube. But, anyway, so I think on that note, Krelen, do you have any last thoughts before we give Randomania their channel back?
Oh, thank you all the people that tracked this. Thank you all the re-streamers, everybody. Oh, this is a fantastic tournament. I am very, very, very appreciative of everyone that puts in their time, their hours. This is not something that anybody has to do, and this is a great community. And I have only been racing now for literally 5 months, and I'm here. Anybody can do this. The Duckling boot camp is going on. Everybody should join that wants to join. It is a wonderful place to be. If you have questions, we are here. This is an amazing place. Come join us.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, as the tracker, you're welcome. But
Thank you.
yeah, no, but it's one of those things where basically, if you haven't come to join us on the Discord, pretty much everyone who hangs out in the Final Fantasy 1 Randomizer Discord loves two things: running Final Fantasy 1 in weird ways and Pain. And if you enjoy Pain or Final Fantasy 1, you're welcome to join us. If you like both, you absolutely should be joining us, because oh Lord, if these flags look challenging to you, you really need to see what the deadly stuff looks like. It's great. We shuffle floors around. We have things that generate entirely new sets of enemies, entirely new sets of spells. It's hilarious. Oh, and we have Weaponizer now. We also now generate new weapon lists.
And taverns. The recruitment. I still have to do that. I'm really wanting to try recruitment.
Okay, yeah, no. As soon as the spring tournament is done, or if you get knocked out of the spring tournament, no, you need to do tavern recruitment. It is a completely different game. But Zar, you took us in. Why don't you take us out?
Alrighty, just a quick programming note. We have more FFR action coming up for you folks. Saturday, tomorrow, May 15th, at 9 p.m. Eastern, we have Demon Frog versus the Real Super Pleb. That channel is TBA. We also have our very own Caleb versus Solario X, and that's going to be on Lord Fizzlebeef. That's also at 9 p.m. Eastern.
That is going to be Final Fantasy After Dark, so do not let your children watch that. That's probably going to be Danny and Rafe announcing that, and yeah, no, don't let your kids anywhere near it. Please don't.
Yes, that one will be after hours. Thank you for the disclaimer there. Also, this Sunday, May 16th, at 1 p.m. Eastern, we have Groggy Dog versus Wild Ham. That's going to be on one of the Speed Gaming channels. At 4 p.m. Eastern, we have Clementitas versus Pickles and Beer. That's going to be a Bicky broadcast on Rafe Hates Caleb. Most likely also a FFR after hours, so disclaimer on that one. And at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, we have Saracen versus Fryteeth. And the winner of that match will be going on to face our winner this evening, Krelen. So I'm probably going to be looking up to sign up for comms for that one if I have the time. I'm getting hyped for that. And lastly, on Tuesday, May the 18th, we have Dangwoo versus Rubes, and that restreaming channel is yet to be determined as well. Be sure to check out the Discord for all the latest in the updates with the Final Fantasy Randomizer Spring Tournament. I'd like to thank my colleagues this evening on Dark Moon on our restream, Wout for tracking and pulling double duty with the commentary this evening. Excellent commentary, Wout. Great to be in here with you once again.
It's always great.
Big thanks to Randomania and Game Boy F9 for hosting us here as always, and big thanks to you who spent your time with us this evening. And big shout out to our YouTube viewers once again. We love YouTube, we love you Randomania. We hope to more hype matchups from the Final Fantasy Randomizer Spring Tournament Chaos Comedy Tour. And until next time, this is WKRP Final Fantasy Randomizer signing off.
Thank you, everyone.